Hello everybody, today we're going to be removing the gas tank off my 2018 959 Panigale. The reason we're doing this is because the clear coat that's on these tanks from the factory is very soft and it scratches pretty easy. So I'm going to re-clear it with a different type of clear that hopefully will have a little bit harder surface and be able to avoid getting scratched as easy, because it gets scratched all the way around here and it's difficult to cover these tanks with a protection material because of its contours that it has. To do this, we've already removed the decals that say Ducati on either side of it. So we're going to start off by taking off the seat. I've never done this before, so it'll be a learning experience for me also. And we'll see how it goes. Seat's pretty easy to take off. Next part to take off is this bracket, looks like. Looks like the bracket mounts here to the tank. I suspect this goes all the way through, so we're just going to take the bracket completely off. Looks like we have a ground wire here for the tank, so we're going to take that off there. Okay, so the back half of the tank is ready to come off. Now we're going to unbolt the front of the tank. To do that, we have to remove this plastic piece first, and then that'll give us access to these brackets down there. So that bracket's pretty easy to take off. We'll set that over here to keep it safe and protected. Looks like we have two bolts on the side of the tank that go this way here and bolted down to this bracket, so it doesn't look like we'll have to remove that bracket. So we'll take those two bolts out next and we'll see what that gets us. There's a washer there that fell, so we're going to grab that before we lose it. We'll try not to drop that washer this time. So on the back of the tank there is a plug that we're going to disconnect. It's right there. And it should be pretty easy to disconnect. I'm sure there's going to be some hoses underneath here. So I can see a fuel hose right down in there. And it should be a push together hose that should be easy to take apart. So we'll get that on the other side. Very easy plug to take apart. And we got this fuel hose over here. It's probably going to have pressure on it, so if you do take it off, you got to be careful. I don't know if the tank is... It does not look like the tank has the... It doesn't look like the tank has a fuel pump in it. Now, looks like the tank may have a fuel pump right here. And so I suspect this line here is going to have pressure on it. So if you undo it, be aware it's probably going to spray some fuel. So let's undo that next. It did not spray any fuel, and it even closed off. So it's not dripping any fuel. There are two more lines up front there. So we're going to investigate those two and see where those go. A picture of the fuel hose that I just disconnected. Turn to the camera so that you can see the lines towards the front there. It's kind of dark in there, but those are the two next hoses. I have to figure out where they go. So we're going to look into that next. We may have to take the fairing off to investigate that. Okay, so one of those two lines, it looks like it's one of the Evap systems for the gas tank. Has a fairly long thread on it, as you can see. It took quite a bit of time to unscrew it. It was fairly stiff most of the way, and I was able to basically spin it on this hose here, so I was able to not undo this clamp here. So hopefully that'll work well and it won't cause any leaking issues. So that's one of them that we got out. The second one is up in there still, and I think I'll be able to just slide this hose on there. It's not clamped on, so I'm going to slide this hose off of that, and then the gas tank should come free. So that'll be the next step. You can see the end of it here. Once you pinch it together, it just over centers onto that nub like so. So it'll be really easy to put back on. So I was able to pry down on the top of that hose without the clamp on it, and it slid off fairly easy. So we should be able to lift the gas tank up. Before I do that, let me show you one more thing on here. These spots right here, these mounts here, have this pipe that goes through here. You need to back that pipe out a little bit because it does lock the front end down. So you can see now it comes up really easy. But with those pieces pushed all the way in, it seems to seat deeper inside there and makes it difficult to move. So you just have to slide those out a little bit. All right, now we're going to go and lift this thing off. And it comes free pretty easy.